Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 children's songs that are secretly racist.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
For this list, we'll be looking at some popular songs taught to young people that are hiding some dark prejudices. Are there any other questionable children's songs that should be on our list? Let us know about them in the comments. Number 10. I've Been Working on the Railroad. There's a good chance you haven't heard this 1984 song with the original lyrics, because when modern listeners pay close attention, they might be confused by a seemingly unrelated series of words.
I've been working on the railroad.
Why are you singing that?
Because it's in the public domain.
The song talks about working on the railroad, going into the kitchen with Dinah, and strumming on the banjo. But it turns out that the words were originally meant to mimic the dialect of enslaved people. And the person in the kitchen with Dinah was doing something very adult. It gets even darker when you learn that the name Dinah used to be a way to refer to enslaved women. So, if you're going to work on the railroad, you might not want to sing this tune.
I've been working on the railway all the livelong day. Yeah, who wants to work a livelong day anyway?
Number 9. Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport. How can an Australian song full of silly rhymes that's been performed by bands like the Wiggles possibly cross the line?
Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down.
Well, the original version by Rolf Harris included a verse that raised objections and was pretty quickly cut out of live performances. The verse in question has the song's narrator telling his friends to do questionable things to Aboriginal Australians.
Tie me kangaroo down, spite. Tie me kangaroo down.
Not only is he encouraging bad actions against historically oppressed people, but he even uses a derogatory slur.
Take me koala back, Jack. Take me koala back.
Harris would later apologize for the bad verse. Was it ever even necessary to have these awful lyrics in the first place? Number 8. Jim Along Josie. This seemingly fun, upbeat children's song was written by a man who appeared in American minstrel shows. These offensive performances often featured white actors wearing dark makeup to caricature African Americans. Like most minstrel show songs, Jim Along Josie used slurs, made fun of the ways enslaved people talked, and portrayed black people as intellectually inferior. Over time, the lyrics have been changed and softened.
Hey Jim Along Joe.
Hey Jim Along Josie. Hey Jim Along Joe.
Most current versions of the song include the title line and little else from the original. The necessary updates to this song is why few people, even music teachers, know of the song's unpleasant history. Number 7. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Jaunty lyrics and a catchy tune cannot cover up the sinister history of this song. While the origins of the song are hard to track down, its content is unquestionably rooted in terrible events.
Oh Lord, I can pick a bale of cotton. Oh Lord, I can pick a bale a day. Oh Lord, I can pick a bale of cotton.
The song describes presumably enslaved people picking cotton in a field. Its light tone doesn't begin to match the horrible conditions that they would have faced while doing this task. And to make matters worse, the original song was filled with derogatory words for African Americans. It's hard to accept that multiple artists have covered this song over the years, but the fact that it was introduced to children is unbelievable. As recently as 2019, the song was removed from a junior high school concert in Iowa for obvious reasons. Number 6. Camptown Races. Camptown Races was written by a well-known minstrel songwriter named Stephen Foster.
Camptown ladies sing this song, a-doo-dah, a-doo-dah. The Camptown racetrack 9 miles long, oh-doo-dah-day.
While some of the silly words and phrases like doodahs and oh doodah days survived, the stereotypical dialect from the original has been really toned down. However, that's not the only offensive part of the song. camp towns were places where poor migrant workers lived. People in these less than ideal conditions would often bet on horse races to try and make some money. When used in minstrel shows, this song was meant to portray African Americans as lazy and immoral. But once it's taken out of historical context, it's hard to catch how offensive it was meant to be.
I'll bet my money with dancing Dan.
Do-da, do-da. We'll win enough money to pay the feed man.
He's paid.
No change.
Number 5. 10 Little Indians. When this song is broken down, it's a pretty horrifying children's song. The Indians in the title is an incorrect and offensive way of referring to Native Americans. It eventually turned up as a kid's song, presumably to teach counting. At its start, there were 10 Native Americans. Over the course of the songs, the numbers slowly dwindle.
8 little Indian boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay right there, and then there were 7.
The original intent of the lyrics was that the subtracted people ended up dead. There are rhymes about the horrible methods in which they would lose their lives. Hopefully, there will be a day where no child is introduced to this terrible tune. Number 4. Oh Susanna. Minstrel show writer Stephen Foster also wrote Oh Susanna. The lyrics of this song follow an enslaved man from Alabama traveling toward his beloved in New Orleans.
I came from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see.
It features absurd, contradictory, and offensive statements that are meant to portray him as hopelessly ignorant. And it's all written in highly stereotypical dialect. Back in the 1800s, this song became Foster's first big hit, and its lyrics about going on a journey made it popular with people heading west to find gold. These expeditioners definitely missed the irony of singing this derogatory song during their journey. Number 3. Shortening Bread and 5 Little Monkeys. Although the lyrics differ, the melody and storyline of these two songs are so similar that they're both worth talking about in the same entry. In the original, 2 enslaved people are laying sick in bed.
Send for the doctor said, give those children some shortening bread.
The doctor prescribes shortening bread, which is a fried bread made with flour, lard, and sugar. What isn't explicitly mentioned in the song is that the 2 sick people were probably starving since enslaved people didn't always get adequate food resources. This is the reason they are cured by food. When it comes to 5 Little Monkeys, the song also talks about bad incidents happening in bed. But as you may have already guessed, the original was talking about enslaved people. Both songs make light of grim suffering.
Poor little monkeys laying on a bed. One rolled over, the other one said.
Number 2. Turkey in the Straw, aka the ice cream truck song. Most people have probably heard the tune to this song because it's played frequently in movies, cartoons, and of course, ice cream trucks. However, the lyrics are much less well known.
Turkey in the straw, a turkey in the hay, a turkey in the straw. What did you say? Hey, roll and twist him up high, I took home.
There's a pretty good reason for that. Featuring a melody based on an older British song, this tune didn't become popular in the US until it was sung in minstrel shows under a title we are not going to say. While some of these tunes on our list were made more palatable by taking out the most troubling words, the original version is beyond all hope. The song's unfortunate history led the Good Humor Ice Cream Company to remove it from its trucks in 2020.
Want more music content? WatchMojo produces an original podcast taking a behind-the-scenes look at all things music. The show provides authentic interviews with artists from all around the world, while also staying true to WatchMojo's roots with top 10 music banter thrown into the mix. What's the best advice Alice Cooper's ever given you? Looking back at the staying power, does it shock you?
No, we have naked pictures of the right people.
If you want exclusive interviews with award-winning artists, producers, singers, songwriters, check out Innersleeve.
Number 1. Jingle Bells. You may be surprised to see this holiday favorite on our list. In 2017, a Boston University professor was trying to settle a long-standing debate about where the song was written. While researching this topic, she found a horrible truth. White composer James Pierpont had written the song to be performed in minstrel shows. It was meant to mock African Americans who tried to join in traditional winter activities. Over the centuries, its insulting origins had been obscured and forgotten. When Professor Hamill published an academic paper on the subject, she was attacked by critics who claimed she was ruining Christmas.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, I jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Someone should really let the critics know that this song was ruined a long time ago.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.